So an algorithm is simply a precise series of instructions used to solve a particular problem within a finite amount of time. So from the definition of an algorithm, here we get the first characteristics of an algorithm, which is finite. So a good algorithm should end after a specific number of steps. Algorithm should have at least one input, either from the user or from the programmer. A good algorithm should have an output efficiency. So a correct algorithm should do exactly what it is meant to do. Okay. Then we also have definiteness or non-ambiguity. A good algorithm shouldn't be ambiguous. That is, every term in it should have one and only one meaning. And without any further wastage of our time, we are going to dive right into writing algorithms. The name of an algorithm cannot contain any space, so we don't put spaces in the name. The next thing we want to do is the variable declaration. The variable can be anything. It's simply a value which data is stored in. So you can decide for your variable to be A separated with a comma, B, C, and whatsoever. Then you specify the data type of your variable. So you can have as many variables as you want. Maybe we can have another A, no, let's say D, and let's say F, and its data type, let's call this data type 1, and we'll call this data type 2. So we can have as many data types as we want. Now we could also declare constants. So now you want to declare the constant's name, and you assign the constant a value. So constant name, assign it a value. Now from that we go to the body of our algorithm. Begin. This marks the body of our algorithm. Now we have the set of instructions we want our algorithm to execute, and after those instructions you have the end of your algorithm. So since I'm going to be teaching you guys just the basics of an algorithm, I won't be going into other complex structures that concern algorithm, but just beginner level. So we're going to continue with the types of variables, like the data types in an algorithm. What are data types? So they simply tell the computer how to treat a certain value. So in algorithms we are going to be using strings. So the data types we are going to be using, it doesn't mean these are the only data types, programming or algorithm, but these are the ones we would limit ourselves to. So we would be using strings. Strings is simply like a string of characters, maybe text, something like a name. The next data type we're going to be looking at is integers. We're going to look at real, these are floating numbers like 1.5 or something like that. And the next one we're going to look at is going to be the Boolean, true or false. So these are the data types we're going to work with. Now we are also going to see the kind of instructions in an algorithm. So basically we will be using three main instructions. We are going to use the read instruction. Basically, it is known as the input. Sorry about that. It's known as the input instruction. So the read instruction is known as the input instruction. It's basically just used to pick up data from the user and store it inside a particular variable. Now we have the write instructions or the output instruction. Well, they are called output instructions, but the word used is write. So it's the output instruction. So the output instruction is the write. So write is like display text on the screen for the user. For example, write your name. Now we have the assignment operator. Yes, it is used to assign values, and it looks like this, an arrow. So yeah, it's the assignment instruction. So we are going to limit ourselves to these instructions, and with that, I believe we should be able to start an application of an algorithm. So let's try writing a basic algorithm. I don't know, let's write something on the screen. So algorithm to write the user's age maybe. So let's just go ahead and do it. So we start with the algorithm keyword. Algorithm, the next thing you want to write is the name of the algorithm. So we'll call our algorithm users age. Remember, algorithm cannot have a space, so we're going to define our variable in the variable, like in our general syntax. Now the variable we're going to be using is going to be age, and its data type is an integer. Integers are numbers, so at the end we always need to have the semicolon. Now we want to begin our algorithm. Now we want to use a write instruction. We remember saying that the write instruction displays data on the screen, so we'll be like write enter, okay, your age. So let's just put semicolons there to make it look a little bit classy, and we'll be like read age. Age is the variable with a capital A. Now we want to use another write to display the user's age. Your age. Okay, I use capital in the middle of the sentence, but well, anyhow, your age is followed by a comma, and then we put our variable age, and then we want to end our algorithm. And so yeah, that's your first algorithm, users age. Okay guys, hope this was helpful.